Welcome back to the Football Tragics. I'm your host, Aaron, joined just here by Tony. Tony, you've made 2 in a row.
I've made 2 in about 12 hours. I'm on fire. I don't think anyone's done this before, so I'm claiming it.
That's it. I was obviously absent from the Match Week 14's preview, so there's a few massive games in there. Obviously, Tony, you got to cover that United versus Arsenal game where Ronaldo broke the all-time goal-scoring record, 800 and 801 goals for him now. How's it feel being a United fan seeing that?
Oh, it feels good. And if you haven't listened to it, it feels even better hearing Baxter's intro into the podcast. So I'll leave that one as a bit of a surprise. And I might clip it and post it later. But for now, if you want to listen to it, go back and listen to the podcast that went up this morning.
Yeah, well, we don't have Campo or Morty here today with us. But look, we're going to need 2 of us to get into these games. So we're going to kick it off with that West Ham versus Chelsea game. Then we've got Newcastle, Burnley, Wolves versus Liverpool, Southampton, Brighton, Watford, City, Leeds, Brentford, United, Palace, Spurs, Norwich, Villa, Leicester, and then we finish with Everton, Arsenal. That first one there, Tony, that West Ham versus Chelsea, it's a London derby. I want to get your prediction for this one first. Obviously, we know how I'm going to see it, but as a neutral here, Chelsea's not been amazing recently, but we're still sitting top of the table. West Ham, again, haven't been great, still sitting in 4th, just. How do you see this one playing out?
Obviously, myself, I've tipped Chelsea to get the result here. I do think they'll have enough to get past West Ham. They have picked up, obviously, 4 points and not played the best football the last 2 games. Obviously, against United, they struggled to break us down by the penalty. Last week, obviously, or a couple of days ago now, they struggled to break down and get the result, but they got the result, and that's what matters. But this could be a game that could be that banana peel. They could slip. They could drop points, but I don't know. We spoke about it last night. I think West Ham need to start focusing a little bit more on that Europa League because I don't see them finishing in the top 6. So I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea.
Okay, so you don't think West Ham have enough there to hold on for the year?
No, I can see, obviously, if they don't win tonight, I think Spurs are only 3 points behind them and will have 2 games in hand on them. So there's already one position they slip in. United have a comfortable December coming up, fingers crossed. And
Arsenal even looking okay.
Yeah, they're in good form, so I can see them dropping out. So I'd be, like I said last night, slipping into that Europa League focus.
Yeah, well, I wasn't here to cover that Watford-Chelsea game, but like you said, there we didn't enough to get the job done. It was a under-strength Chelsea, I'd say. It wasn't our best 11. Reece James obviously was absent. Kante didn't play. Saul in the middle of the park got hooked at halftime, and his only 2 Premier League starts. He's been hooked in both games, so I don't think he's up to it yet. But Thiago Silva coming on at halftime kind of just helped us there. So look, we got the job done. Sometimes you have to win ugly, and that's sometimes the results that win you titles. Might not go that far just yet, but yeah, it was a massive result. And this one, I think we're back to full strength or thereabouts. Jorginho should come in. No Kante still, but that's okay. So I've gone with the Chelsea 2-0. I think we probably do set up with Thiago Silva from the get-off. Hopefully he is still, obviously being 36, you don't know how he's going to pull up every game. But hopefully with him back in there, we look a bit safer. And yeah, I think they'll struggle to break us down. I think we might get this one spot on. But West Ham have caused us problems in the last few years. So it's a massive game, and it's going to be it's early kickoff. So hope you're watching too, that's for sure. Massive game.
Never back the early kickoff, boys. Never back the early kickoff.
That's it. I won't put any money down, but yeah, let's go with Chelsea for that one. All right, this one. It's an interesting one, Tony. Newcastle versus Burnley. Newcastle, this is their 2nd game in a row where they've versed a team fighting relegation with them. They versed Norwich a couple of games ago or last game, and now they're versing Burnley, who are only a couple of spaces ahead. How do you see in this one? They need to win this at home.
Oh, I mean, if you're asking me what I want to happen, I'd love this to play it as a 0 or draw. I want both teams gone come the end of the season. So it wouldn't surprise me if this game does end in a draw, and I had put it down as a 1-1 draw. But like you said, this is if Newcastle can't pick up points against obviously Norwich first and now Burnley back-to-back, it's not looking very pretty when you're playing the likes of Leicester, United, City, and I think Liverpool in the next 5 weeks. So if they don't win this, they're going to find themselves in a lot of trouble come January.
Absolutely. Look, they weren't helped by that early red card against Norwich. So I think had they not have copped that, maybe they do go on to win that. Obviously, Timu Pukki scored late in the game to equalise. I've gone with a Newcastle 2-1 here. I think just like that Norwich game, I think if they should, hopefully they don't get another red card, but if they have a full 11 out there, they should win at home. Burnley, though, they're unbeaten in a few games, most of them draws, but Burnley do find a way to play ugly, and it works against you. And Newcastle aren't getting it right now. So I've gone with Newcastle, but I can't, like, I don't have full faith in, that's for sure. I
You've
wouldn't
gone
be
with
surprised.
Newcastle, but you wouldn't be upset if they came away with another loss and they still sat at the bottom with no wins, would you?
Although the way you put it, you can't even see them winning games right now. They're not playing like a team. Eddie Howe's got a lot of work cut out there. So, but if they do slip up here and they can't get their first win in the season, then yeah, they're in a lot of water because they'd still be another 5 points adrift from safety at that point.
I mean,
Six.
it's obviously this is also a massive game because don't forget Burnley. I know it is against Tottenham, but Burnley do have a game in hand and they're already 3 points ahead of Newcastle. So
Yeah, well,
this could be a 6 point swing if they don't win this game today. So it's going to be interesting.
yeah, Newcastle need to win. It's getting beyond a joke. 14 games without a win now. 7 draws, 7 losses. It's just not good enough, really, is it? So this is a must win. But it is it's a good laugh, that's for sure, for the richest club in the world. How about this one, Tony? Wolves versus Liverpool. I'm going to kick our predictions off with this one. I've gone with a safe Liverpool win. I went with a safe Liverpool win against Everton, and they blew them off the park. It's clear the difference between Everton and Liverpool right now. And I think Liverpool, they probably won't blow Wolves off the park like they did against Everton, but they'll play enough. They'll win the game pretty comfortably. What do you think?
Well, obviously, you said the difference between Everton and Liverpool, and it's that Everton spent more money. You missed that last night. We got up with the stats. They spent an extra 40 million, so it's a bit embarrassing. And you look at Wolves; they struggled last week when I think we all thought they were going to take home those 3 points and they were going to push in the right direction. I'm going to go Liverpool 4-0. I think they're going to run past them. They're going to continue that form. You may see some players rested. Who knows? It is the busy period, but I think even their bench will be enough to dispose of Wolves.
Yeah, well, I think Morty put it good a few weeks ago. He said that why would they rest some players right now, especially when you got like Salah and Mane who are going to be going off to the AFCON Cup of Nations soon. So there's no point resting them now. They may as well get their use out of them, rack up as many goals as possible, as many wins as possible, because they might find it tricky in that.
Yeah, but you rest the other players. You let Kanate play. You bring him into the line. I'm not talking rest Salah and that, but when he's playing 4 games in the space of 20 days, plus he's got to then go play another month of football where there's 6 games. If they do go the whole way, it's a lot of football for one player inside 2 months.
It is, but do they exactly care how? Do they care about the international period? Like, does Liverpool go, we need to kind of make sure this guy's fresh for international? Or do they think, no, we're the one paying and we need to get our use out?
I don't think they give 2 shits about the international game, but you do know Salah does, and he's going to go over and give it all for his country, and the coach isn't going to pull him off, and there's going to be no agreement where he's only allowed to play 60 minutes. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hopefully they can get the job done and pull him off because, obviously, as we all say, he's the best player in the world at the moment, and, I mean, you'd hate to see someone like that get injured, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just for the league itself, it's amazing having players like that at the top of their game, and there's a reason why Liverpool score goals for fun. So I think you're not wrong in saying that Liverpool well and truly could blow them off the park. I've just gone with the safe option, but I can't see it going any other way than a Liverpool win. Wolves, they hit some good form for a little while, but then they slumped a bit. They're back into it okay now, a couple of draws, but Liverpool's just a different beast. And yeah, there's a massive difference between Wolves and Liverpool, just like there is with Everton. What about this one now? Southampton versus Brighton. Southampton, they let a lead slip, to say, against Leicester. They could have come away with 3 points there, and they've actually racked up the most points dropped from leading positions since, I don't remember the year exactly, but it's a lot of points. How's this one going to go, Tony? Do you see the same thing happening, or can they win this one? Or
you know what? Every time I give Southampton credit and I say they're going to win a game, they end up losing, dropping points. So I'm going to go Brighton in a hope that does jinx the game and turns it around. And they have a really cool manager name, so hopefully he gets the win with Ralphie. I will go Brighton 1-0, just so I hope that I can turn that jinx and Southampton get the result.
Okay. I've gone the opposite way. I have backed Southampton. I think, like you, when I do back them, they don't produce. But I'm going to go with them. I don't think Brighton have been as amazing as they, a lot of draws recently, and that's just not good enough, I think. But they're still sitting okay on the table. But I think Southampton probably need this win a bit more. I think they'll realise the way they performed against Leicester, slipping up and not getting that 3 points. Hopefully they make amends for that this week, and maybe Ralph will be wearing his famous vest and come away with a win. Who knows? All right, this one, Tony. Is this a whitewash? It's Watford versus City. City score goals. They do. Or is this a game where Watford come out and, because they're capable. They obviously blew you guys off the park. Sorry to say, but Is that going to be this game for them, or is it City is just too strong?
Oh, I think City's too strong. I think Pep's gonna finally start to realise that it's not a runaway competition. He can't keep playing this Pep rotation and hope that the players off the bench can score a goal in 10 minutes. They struggled last week. They did get the result, but they did struggle. And Ranieri and Watford are no push around. So I'm gonna say 3-1 Man City, but it's going to finish late. I think it's going to be a 1-1 at one stage, and then City will pull away and finish it off.
Okay, I've gone City 3-0. I think, like you said, City's too strong. I think Pep will probably make sure, especially, I suppose, being the late game, he'll know the results of both the Chelsea game and the Liverpool game, so he can't afford to really drop points here, because I do think that both those teams will pick up their 3 points. So, yeah, I think City will win this game. Watford are a good team. They're class going forward, but defensively, I don't think they can hold out a City team that's firing on all cylinders, that's for sure. They did obviously get a bit lucky against Villa. Probably could have come away with just a draw there, but they got the 3 points just like Chelsea did against Watford. So, yeah, I think all three of the top of the table teams right now will pick up 3 points this week. This one, Leeds versus Brentford, Tony. I've gone with the Leeds 2-1 win. It's an interesting one because Brentford, they hadn't been great. They've got a couple okay results, but they again lost last week against Spurs. But Leeds, they've got a win and a draw in the last 2 games. You're a United fan, so you don't want to ever tip Leeds. But at home, are they good enough to beat Brentford?
Oh, I think they are. I think Brentford, like I've said in previous pods, they hit the ground running, and we all thought, wow, this is a team that's going to do a Leeds from last year. And they've slowly started slipping off. And I think that although it was only a penalty that got Leeds across the line last game in the 95th minute, I think that's a huge momentum twist, especially for their season. And I'm going to go Leeds. I'm actually going to go Leeds 2-0. And I think they're going to keep that clean sheet. Rafinha will get back on the score sheet. I'm going to go Daniel James just because, well, I'm a bit biased and he played for United. So Daniel James on the score sheet, 2-0.
He's not been bad recently, Daniel James. Decent signing, to be fair. And speaking of United, we go into United versus Palace. Are you nervous for this game? Ralph's first game in charge. Obviously, Michael Carrick has stepped down. Can't thank you can't thank him enough. Really, he's come away. Didn't lose a game when he was in charge. Now it's Ralph's turn, isn't it? Ralph Rangnick. It's his time to shine. It's time to get this ship back on the water, really, isn't it? What's your prediction for this one?
I'm going to go out here and say this might bite me in the ass, but I'm going to go 3-0 United. Again, you get those things where you say a new manager comes in and a team plays for him now. Yes, he was in the stands last game. Yes, the team knew they had him from a couple weeks ago, but they're all out to impress because it's not now Carrick knows how I play. If he'll put me in the starting lineup, it's Ralph's going to come in, and if you're not good enough, he's going to start making changes. So I'd love to see Delot play again. I'd love to see Tellez play again. As for the rest, I think Fred's going to work out well. And I can't believe I'm saying this because he's had 2 back-to-back cracking games. I'm excited to see how Fred plays under Ralph because I think this is going to help him. The style of play that Ralph is going to help with his pressing style with that cover in behind him. And like I said, I think we'll have enough to get past Palace. I can't believe I've tipped the clean sheet, but 3-0.
Yeah, I think, like you said there, like Ralph midweek had a few strong comments to say, basically saying this United squad, they've been underperforming, things like that. He had a lot to say. I've gone with a United 3-1. Don't think he'll keep the clean sheet, but you'll be too strong going forward. I think Ronaldo's going to get another 1 or 2. Bruno might shine. Like you said there, Fred will probably shine. Like, it's exciting because when a new manager comes in, it's a fresh chance for every player to perform. And I think Fred is one of those players that will relish the opportunity, just like Donny van de Beek. Do you think Donny does start or sees minutes? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a bit too early for him to get chucked in the line. I know you say a new manager is going to pick his lineup, like I just said, but it could be too early. I mean, I don't know how many sessions he's had together. He might have only had 1 or 2 sessions, so he is relying heavily on what, I guess, Ole's old staff tell him who should be playing. He's watched the game. I think you might see Donny come on in about the 60th. You'll get a bit of game time, but I don't see him starting, especially not this week.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't see him starting, but I think this is a perfect chance for United to pick up a few points and get back in that top 4 contention because that's really where they need to be.
I don't know if you've looked at our schedule coming for December. We have, arguably, if you look at it, are quite comfortable. Obviously, we go to Palace. Palace come to us, young boys come to us. We go away to Norwich, away to Brentford, at home to Brighton, away to Newcastle, and at home to Burnley. So realistically, if you're a United fan and we want to make that top 4, we shouldn't be dropping points in that run.
No, I think, honestly, if you want to be in that top 4, which I think you should be above West Ham for sure. That's maximum points. Maybe you could see one draw in there, but you should not be losing any games, I think, in that period, that's for sure. How about Spurs versus Norwich? Will they be dropping points? I can't see it happening. Norwich have been okay. But Spurs at home, I think, under Conte, they're a bit better. Christian Romero has been ruled out for quite a while, I believe, but still, I think they're too strong. I'm not going to go as far as to say Harry Kane goal, just because it's not happening, is it?
He broke my drought. I had a streak going where I hadn't got that run in about 6 games, and he's broken it. I've caught him to score last game, and he didn't. So fuck Harry Kane. I'm done with him.
So what's your prediction for this game? They're too strong, are they, for Norwich?
Yeah, I can't see it. I Tottenham in the past, I could see him shipping points here, but a Tottenham under Conte, I just can't. I can't see Conte losing this match, and I'm going to go 2-0 Tottenham. I don't see Norwich offering too much going forward in this game.
Yeah, I've gone 3-0, but yeah, like I said, I can't put Kane in there. But who knows? Maybe we'll score this week. But he's just, the man can't buy a goal at this point, really. Villa versus City. This is an interesting. Leicester, sorry. This is an interesting one here. Stevie G copped his first loss for Villa against City, but that second half for them was impressive, and they could have gotten points out of that game. So he's definitely had his influence, I think, already on this team. Leicester clawed a result back against Southampton. Still probably wasn't the best result for them against a struggling Southampton. Which way do you see this one going?
I have actually tipped Leicester. It was one of those toss of a coin kind of tips. Obviously, if Villa do win this game, they're only 1 or 2 points behind Leicester. So, I mean, I don't know if it's me being biased because I don't really like Steven Gerrard, but
understandable.
I think there's certain games where they're going to look good and they're going to lift, and back Grealish coming back, you're playing against your old teammate. He's left you. He's ditched you in a sense. It was probably a big boost for them for that game. I'm going to go Leicester 2-1, and I don't know why, but I just don't want Steven Gerrard to win.
Understandable. I've gone with a 1-1 draw. This is the only draw I've tipped for the week, I believe. Like I said, I don't know how Leicester, I think, will be up for this game. So
actually, can I just say I just looked up my tips and I have a draw, so I might say 2-2 then just to make it.
I have to draw a Leicester win according to us. I don't know. It's a tough game for both teams, I think, and a draw is probably a fair result, just even before the game starts. But we'll see how it cracks on, if Stevie G can get those Villa boys up for it. But we move into the final game of the round now. Very lackluster Everton versus Arsenal, who couldn't quite get anything from that game against United, Tony. You can obviously kick us off with this one. Prediction,
Aubameyang won't start. That's my first prediction. He was quite poor against United. He probably could have had 2 or 3 goals. And I think it's a team that needs a striker, and it's a team that needs I'd say go for January. I don't think you can wait to the end of the season if your ambitions are top 4. Everton, very lackluster. They've had a poor season to what we expected them to, especially how they started. I'm going to go Arsenal 3-1.
Okay, I'm going to agree with you there. I'm going to go Arsenal 2-0. Like you said, the Everton have had a very poor season considering how they started. Arsenal, they're climbing. They're into 5th now. A win here would take them into 4th because we were always tipping West Ham to lose. But I think Aubameyang, like you said, there's not going to start, and they need to address that front line because both him and Lacazette aren't performing in the slightest. Martinelli comes off the bench a couple of weeks ago, scores a goal. It's just not good enough from your strikers, really. Your strikers there to score goals, and they're not doing that. So do they look at shipping one of them off, even both of them off, and bringing some new players? I don't know if it'll happen just yet, but I do think they need to address it and make some amends. But they do have enough to win this game, just purely on the fact that Everton are in hot water. I think
they're in the mud.
Yeah, basically in the mud. Thanks for joining me, Tony. It's been a quick one, just under 20 minutes here. So we'll have the review coming out next week. It's a crazy period, December, festive football games every other week.
Get used to seeing our face because you're going to see it every couple of days. That's the way the Premier League goes in December.
That's how it is. Well, anyway, we'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining me, Tony.
All right. See you, mate.